I gained weight and I hate my body. Those are the exact words I said to myself. And I'm going to share with you in this video exactly how I went from hating my body, being stuck in shame and guilt, not wanting to leave the house, to having the loving, peaceful relationship with my body that I have today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. So happy to have you, and thank you for coming back. In this channel, I share proven tips and resources to really transform those negative thoughts that you have about yourself, your body, any pressures you have to change your body, and to be able to have the loving, confident, unconditionally worthy relationship with your body and your life. So let's dive right in. Okay, so how did I go from hating my body, hating myself, gaining weight, feeling all the shame, truly not wanting to leave the house or live my life, quite frankly, to where I am today? So I've shared this before in a few of my other videos, but my whole life I've struggled with my body image, having really negative thoughts about my body, always feeling like there was something wrong with me, really abusing exercise and food to try and manipulate how I felt about myself and my body. And I realized that those things never worked. Like, no matter what diet I was on, no matter what program I was in, no matter how much exercise I did, I was working out for several hours a day. And still, even when I had the dream, quote unquote, dream body that I thought I wanted, I was still so miserable. I was not even present in my life because my mind was constantly calculating calories and thinking about how I couldn't possibly enjoy that drink or that beverage because I would have to go and undo it the next day. And that chronic cycling of dieting and over-exercising led into my body binge eating because there was so much restriction. My body just knew, like, I'm not feeding myself enough. I have to act out and take control and start feeding myself. And so really this cycle of restricting and binging did such a large detriment to my body in my mental health. And I got to the point where I experienced what we call a burnout. So my body physically burnt out. I suffered from adrenal fatigue from the obsession about my body, about food. This is the thing that we don't talk about. Like, we can become so physically ill from these negative thoughts that we have about ourselves that our body just starts to fail and starts to shut down. And I never realized how powerful these negative thoughts and obsessive thinking was about my body. So when I experienced this adrenal fatigue and burnout, what happened was the cortisol levels were through the roof in my body. So cortisol is a stress hormone, and in small dosages, it's really healthy for us. Like, we have a cortisol spike when we wake up in the morning, and that helps us have energy to go through our day. Cortisol lowers as we progress through the day so that we can naturally feel tired and want to go to sleep. My body had cortisol going all day long where I couldn't sleep. I had no appetite, but my body was continuously gaining weight. Because cortisol, as a stress hormone, decreases our digestion, it slows our metabolism, it increases fat storage because it's a stress hormone. So it does all this stuff to try and support your body, but when there's too much of it, of course, it's going to create different effects. So for me, no matter how I had no appetite and I was forcing myself to eat because I felt like, I really need to eat, obviously. But my body just kept putting on weight. So again, I thought the solution is, more exercise and, more diets or programs. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze. So I was still stuck in this mentality that, hey, I gained weight. The solution is going to be yet another diet or another workout program. Oh my goodness. But even trying that didn't work. My body wasn't changing. And so I was left to sit with these really uncomfortable feelings of knowing that my body had changed several sizes, and that had never happened in my life. And it was really confronting a fear that I had about what weight gain means and who I was in the world. And all of this is conditioning that we acquire through society, through beauty culture, diet, our family upbringing, everything. Like, we inherit so many messages about our worth based on our body. And so when I was in this situation where I gained weight, all of those fears came flooding through. Like, I'm not worthy enough. No one will want to be with me. Like, I can't even go outside. I felt so much shame, like the list goes on. And so what I had to do and what changed my life was the following. So I'm going to share 3 really important tips with you. Number 1 is I literally got down on my knees and I prayed and I said, I truly in this moment, I didn't want to live. Like I was so miserable and my worth was so non-existent in that moment that I had to turn to something greater than me to seek support because I knew I couldn't do this on my own. So I naturally fell to the floor. I got on my knees and I prayed and I just said, "Dear universe, I'm really struggling right now. Like I'm feeling so low about myself and my body and I don't know how to break free of this. Like everything I've done in the past has never worked. Please show me the way forward." And it was as if like the world opened up and I received so many intuitive messages about what I was meant to do next, how I was meant to support myself. And we know intuitively what's best for us. We just get clouded with all the crap and conditioning that we learn from the diet industry, from beauty culture, from society, about, how we're supposed to take care of our bodies, how much we're supposed to exercise, what we're supposed to be doing. We lose track of that internal compass within ourselves. So step 1 of really setting an intention, asking for help, like saying to the universe, like, I'm struggling here, please help me find the way forward. So tip number 2. So after I got down on my knees and prayed, which I encourage you to do, is to really actively use this energetic connection that we have to the energies that are greater than us, always working through us for our highest good, to reach out for support, to daily set an intention and say, "Dear universe, God, whatever you believe in, please support me with these struggles with my body image or my weight. I'm really struggling. I'm suffering. I would really love your support in working through me for my highest good so that I may have the experience, let's say, of peace, of ease, of calm, of joy, whatever you want to say, but really call upon those energies to support you because they're here and they want to work through you and they want to love and support you. And when we can actively ask them, they actually do support us in those exact ways. And you will be amazed by what you're shown and how you're guided on this path. And that's the biggest thing. You're not alone. And sometimes, no, not sometimes, all the time when we're struggling with these issues, we feel so isolated and so alone. So it's so important to reach out for that hand of support and guidance. So step 2, what really helped me is to decide that I wasn't going to let these struggles own my life anymore. So it was really an energetic shift to take back my own power, to realize that, again, it didn't matter what size of body I had throughout my life. My body's changed so much, my entire life, and it didn't matter. As I mentioned before, when I had my quote unquote dream body, did I feel more confident? No. This is what we're taught, these messages that if you shrink your body and you edit yourself in this way and you have whiter teeth or you have, whatever the story is, like you're going to be more confident. If we don't heal that, do that inner work, we're never actually going to feel that inherent sense of confidence, and our worth will always hinge upon our external appearance. So step 2 is to really decide you're going to take your power back from that. You realize what you've been doing isn't working. You realize that this conditioning, these thoughts, these patterns, that you can understand that you learned this and it's not your fault, and you're deciding to take your power back from them and decide that, the dieting, the incessant restriction with food, the obsessive exercise, like whatever it is that you're trying to do on the outside isn't actually working to heal your relationship with yourself. And it's not working to truly give you that sense of unconditional worth and love. And to decide, I'm not going to do this anymore. This is going to be the last day that I let these struggles own my life and dominate my life. And for me and for so many of us, it's reaching that rock bottom place where I remember seriously considering, not being on this planet anymore because I just couldn't handle the pain of these issues and choosing to take my life back. So that's my invitation to you. Like, how sick are you of this crap from the diet industry? How sick are you, obsessing about your weight or feeling that you're unworthy because you're in a bigger body than you would like to be, or whatever the story is. How sick are you of that? And how much of your life is it consuming? Because it's time to take your power back, and it starts now. So that's my invitation for step 2, is rising up. And it really cultivates almost this sense of anger or frustration that's like, I'm ready to do something about this. Like, I'm truly ready to do something about this. Step 3 is I learned that conventional therapy didn't work for me, and I needed to try something different. So this therapy is so important, and it's just such an amazing thing that we even have access to. And I was in therapy for my whole life. But step 3 was really, I identified, okay, the things that I have been doing haven't really been working for me. And I was, through the path of asking for help, was shown the doorway to EFT, to tapping. And this modality changed my life, because in using this modality, which many of you know about if you're returning to my channel, or those of you that are new, EFT tapping is a modality that combines acupressure, positive psychology, NLP, like a whole bunch of other things together, cognitive behavioral therapy. And we're tapping acupressure, if I didn't already mention that. We're tapping on specific points of the body that are connected to our energy meridians. And essentially what we're doing is we're creating safety in our body and in our nervous system, which is so vital for the quality of life that we're here to lead. And what it does specifically is when we have negative thoughts or beliefs about ourselves, they hold a lot of energy, they hold a lot of intensity, they hold a lot of power. And our thoughts are energy, and the more energy they have, the more they become lodged in our subconscious, and the more they dictate how we show up in the world. So, you know, if you have these really heavy beliefs that you're unworthy and your body isn't good enough and all the rest of it, those are really intense stories and beliefs. And then that's how you go and act in the world. That's how you go and act with that future person that you meet in real life that you want to date. It shows up in your body language. It shows up in the conversations you have. It shows up in whether you text them or not, because all the while that story is saying you're not good enough, they'll probably never like you, etc., etc. So using EFT and working through these negative inner beliefs that we have about our weight, about who we are in the world, about, you know, all those limiting stories we have, we're able to take energy away from them. And as we take energy away from them, they become less powerful. And the way our brain works is that when something is less powerful, it doesn't hold space, it doesn't hold free rent in our brain anymore. It gets pruned off. And those neural pathways that were once really strong and formed and lodged in the subconscious, they aren't there anymore, and we experience the gift of freedom from those thoughts. We don't attach to them anymore. We don't actually even believe them. So what I had to do was I had to really confront those inner negative beliefs and those stories and the things that were running my mind, because the diets weren't working. You know, I gained this weight and dieting wasn't working. I wasn't feeling better. The dieting wasn't even working to take off the weight, because hello, diets don't even work. And, you know, I tried exercise again. I tried to exercise my way out of my weight gain. Didn't work. My body was so flooded with stress from all the negative thoughts I had about myself and my body that I was literally sick. So dieting wasn't the answer. Exercising wasn't the answer. I saw so many doctors and practitioners, naturopaths, you name it, and I didn't feel any real healing. My body was like crying out for help, going like, I can't escape these negative thoughts about myself and my worthiness, and I'm not going to let myself even go out in public because of how terrible I felt about myself. Like, none of that. So when I found EFT, I found this incredible gift of like a true miracle where I finally felt seen and heard, and that all of these negative thoughts came out of my head onto the table, and I was able to clear them, heal them, and in turn experience just a total relationship of peace and ease with myself. And the most amazing thing happened is as I healed those negative thoughts about my body and my weight and all the fear and all the shame and all the, you know, everything connected to it, my sleep started to come back. My appetite started to come back. My belief in myself and my worth came back. I honestly was like in the same body, truly. And I felt like the kind of confidence like that would turn a room. And it was incredible. I was like, what? I just thought to myself, I go, well, what changed? I don't understand. Like, I didn't lose weight. But all of a sudden, I'm feeling like so confident and loving towards myself. The kind of confidence I never had when I was in a smaller body and had a effing six-pack. Like, how could I even explain that? Well, when we can clear those negative thoughts and bring healing to them, and we can come back into the truth of who we really are, funny things happen. Life becomes a gift. You become unstoppable. You really connect to this authentic, true self, which knows I am love. I am unconditionally worthy. You know, and you start to really detach from how you physically look, you know, from how important weight is in your life. Like, those things start to become so much further away from you. And we get the gift of taking our life back. It's just so funny. We always think like confidence comes from, you know, like I guess how we learn that it comes from how we dress, or like how long our hair is, or like how many highlights we have, or the size of our chest or booty, or like whatever, how snatched our waist is. And, you know, I think you've learned by now, much like myself, you could probably cosmetically create whatever body it is that you wanted if you had all the money in the world, and you still wouldn't be happy. And we see that with the Kardashians, you know. Khloe Kardashian is a prime example of that. You know, she's shared really openly about her struggles with her body, which has led her to edit more and more of her body year over year, because it's never enough. And that's the sad truth. Until we heal, well, it's actually the empowered truth. Until we heal those inner thoughts that are keeping us sick, we're never going to feel the true confidence, the true worth, the true love that we really are. And I will say too, it's like, this is me working on these negative thoughts about my body and myself is exactly how I went from being in toxic relationships, first of all, no relationships, and like having that area of my life be totally dormant because I never felt worthy enough. And I was always waiting until I lost the weight to really reclaim my life. It was always like, when I lose weight, I'll finally do this. When I lose weight, I'll finally go on a date. When I lose weight, I'll set up my Hinge profile. And it was like I was starving my life, right? And once I finally did that healing work to heal these inner thoughts, my life was no longer on hold. I realized that I had to continue living my life to actually heal myself. It's not about when I lose weight, then I'll have this. It's about, I will create the life that I want, and I'm not going to wait for my body to change, because it may never, and then what, right? So it was when I started healing those negative thoughts about my body and myself, and truly reclaiming that sense of my authentic self, knowing that I'm worthy as I am in whatever body I have, that the relationships started changing, the money started flowing. You know, I manifested my fiance, like literally the most amazing person that I could ever ask for, that I literally cry with gratitude for every single day. It's no surprise. It's because I did the healing work to be able to know that I deserve this, and that he's not with me for the way that my body looks. Like, we have such a powerful soul connection, and when we're stuck in this mentality that's all about our body and appearance, we attract people into our lives that want to mirror exactly that to us and are really unhealthy for us. So you can have everything you want, that you've ever wanted before. And it starts from you healing these negative thoughts and reclaiming your worth. And let's make that happen right now. I really encourage you, if you are struggling with your weight, you know, with your body in general, with having these negative thoughts about yourself and your body, and it's holding you back from living your life, from going on dates, from being in that relationship, from going on vacation, from feeling like you're worthy to leave the house or do something with your friends, today is the day you do something different. And watching this video is a key indicator to me that you're ready for change, that you're ready to take your life back, that you're ready for more. So if that sounds like you, then I encourage you to watch some of these next videos that I'm going to throw up for you, where I lead you through this proven technique, and to really also pick up the phone and give me a call, because I'm here to support you. I want you to live the life that you deserve. I want you to really embody that sense of confidence that is so unstoppable, that, like I said, it's like head turning confidence, because that's who you are. It's not about the weight. It's not about how your body looks. It's about who you innately are, the things that no one can take away from you. And it's time to get reconnected to that. And it's time to let go of this attachment to, your weight and this fixation on diets and exercise, because that never works. It comes from right here. And I would love this to be a wake-up call for you, an inspiring one to really take your life back. So that is the story. That is the story. And I'll be so excited to see you again next week, truly. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and love you all so much. Love you all so much.